Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dell's Trading Floor. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday. The market the market is kind of schizophrenic, but it looks like the Dow is reaching a new high. Some of the NASDAQ stocks, not so much. I got stopped out of DocuSign. Let's see, DocuSign, Nvidia. Wow, a lot of stocks. It seems like there's a rotation going on. Caterpillar is doing really good right now. It's basically reversed, going higher. I bought a stock today, a really interesting Crane, plumbing fixtures company. Wow, when was the last time plumbing fixtures were hot? But anyways, it's doing good, and so yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that one does, and it's a kind of a weird mixed day. Some of our really growthy stocks just don't. Got Chartman up here. Let's see if we can get me back. All right, I should not be muted on the mic. Hopefully, come on. There we go. All right. Okay. I think I have the mic and everything. Still, the video card that I ordered from eBay did not work. So, back to the drawing board. Hopefully, I'll be able to find something that will work. No, that's not right either. Oh goodness. Let's see if we can get the right screen to share here. There we go. There. Okay, finally. Finally, we're looking good. All right, so let's kind of go through the slides. Well, the Dow hit a new high, and but the COVID stocks are kind of diving. So tough ones to trade. I mean, the biotechs are tough to trade anyways, and so it's tough to trade. But the Dow is hitting a new high, and Caterpillar is in a buy zone. Really interesting. What I did today is I did a bull put spread on this one, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to be hopefully getting it out to everybody tonight. If you're on the Action Trade Alerts, don't have it ready to go yet, but I'll kind of give you a brief kind of look at it and how it's doing. We are still in a confirmed uptrend, and even though the Nasdaq's off a little bit, not a lot, we're still above 14,750, so that's pretty good. The real star of the day, of course, is the Dow Jones, and that's up significantly, 0.62%, considering everything. S&P is up a little bit, not as much, but it's the Dow, really, that has been leading the way today. Here's a stock I bought today. It's Crane. They came and had some very, very good earnings. Volume is up 18%. It's up 2.91%. I still think this is buyable. I think it's still in the buy zone, barely. It's up $2.90. This is the plumbing fixtures company. When you probably have seen these guys' products. They make a lot of other things too. Very industrial, on the New York Stock Exchange. Not a Dow stock, but a New York Stock Exchange stock. So I did buy this one today. Great earnings. So I don't know why they're doing so good, but they are. Kind of with the same kind of infrastructure theme. Caterpillar. This is really the stock of the day. It has reversed. It was moving down, and then they had these great earnings. And look at this. Some very nice increases in volume, and that's shooting that stock nicely up above the 50-day moving average. I definitely like to buy them when they reverse above the 50-day. That's one of my favorite places to buy. You don't want to buy below that, really, or you don't really want to buy below the 200-day, but when they cross that 50-day and they have strong power, that's kind of when you want to look at them. Nice volume. It's up 77%, so much higher than normal volume on Caterpillar. I did a spread trade on this one as well. Kind of want to show you that. Basically, that's where I bought it. As you can see, it kind of was down. It tested. It dropped down to the 200-day line. It moved up. Excellent earnings. Lots of volume, and it pulled above that 50-day line. That's where you want to buy it. Now, the bull put spread that I have on Caterpillar basically puts $510 in your pocket if you buy 3 contracts. This is a recap of what I did. Now, if you want to see this in more detail, you just need to get on that Action Trade Alerts. Super easy to do, and the way you do that, of course, is just to go to www.dallastradingfloor.com, and then run on over to the where it's first and last name and email address, and that will put you on the on the list for that. So let's put that up here. Show you kind of what it looks like. Let's see. I'm just going to kind of show you what it looks like if you go to the Dallas Trading Floor website. Well, hopefully, goodness gracious, did not that work? All right. www.dallastrading.com. Well, for some reason, it's it's not letting me see that. Well, anyways, if you go to that, if you go to DallasTradingFloor.com and do the first and last name, you will be on that list. And I'm going to send out details on this bull put spread on Caterpillar, and I think it will still be enterable tomorrow. And if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. Just go to my profile, click that link, first and last name, and email address, and you'll get on the action trailers. And this also puts you on the list for this great spread trade that I think that you really, really like. I just kind of want to show you what my allocation is right now. And that basically is, I sold a lot of things. I got stopped out of a lot of things, but this is a small portfolio. I'm 17.5% in cash. My biggest position currently is Nike, up about 12% on that in 48 days. ST Micro, I'm up 14, hold it 14 days, up 2%. And Berkshire Hathaway up 1%. So not really stellar. I'm basically even on Under Armour, even on Crane, bought that today. DocuSign, now this, we did sell this so that it won't be on there, and then we did sell Nvidia. So the only thing else left out on here is Square. So really kind of a really a big change. These are all the stocks that I currently own across all the portfolios. Now with a small portfolio, it's not everything I own. It's because I have numerous portfolios, but this is basically what I own. Berkshire Hathaway. We're up today about, I bought this yesterday, about $1.4, about 0.48%. Crane, I was talking about this one, it's up 2.3% today. Strong volume, it's at 102. Basically, the buy point's about 100 on this one. 102.90, 102.74 on that. DocuSign, as I indicated, I still have a little bit of DocuSign. I sold most of my DocuSign today as it crashed through that 197.50, and that's where I had my stop loss. So I do have one small legacy position, but basically I'm pretty much sold out of that. Of course, Nike, it's down a little bit today, 171.35. We're still in Square, just with a very small position. It's down about 252 today. We may be getting rid of that. Who knows? ST Micro is doing well. This is an interesting little chip stock. I may be adding to this if I can see some more strength here. This stock is big in the automotive chip sector. There's still a shortage there. So that one is doing actually fairly well, but it's only up 2 cents today, so not a whole lot. Under Armour, bought that yesterday, only up about 14 cents. But this one looking very nice. There's a very nice chart pattern on it. I absolutely doubled down on Goldman. It's up $5.79 today. The financials are doing very, very well. I've decided to go with Goldman because I do think it's the leader. And it's up. And Snap, believe it or not, is up, not a lot, only 85 cents, but it's still up. And of course, Trex, and that's up as well. Trex, of course, makes that very, very large, like mining trucks and stuff for infrastructure. It's kind of a big in that business. So it's at 105. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of everything that I am in currently. So without further ado, let's get to some of the questions here. And let's see. Let's go over to, there we go. Thank you. AMD. Okay, good question. Good question on AMD. That is, the thing about AMD, this is why I'm such an advocate of setting your stop losses. I was out, I was basically in at about 100, and I was out at about 116, and it wasn't, the reason it happened that way is because I had stop losses on. I could have never timed it without stop losses. So this is why I recommend, even if you're in the hottest thing going, if it's moving up very fast, that's really where you want to be concerned, and really, really look into keeping your stop losses very, very tight. So here we are with, it's not Caterpillar, it's AMD that we want to take a look at. All right, with AMD, we're still, it looks like we got some support right here at the 10-day line. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Should zoom in there a second. All right, so we can kind of see it. There, okay. Yeah, so here we are. Basically, the buy point, of course, on AMD, 95.44. It was this cup with handle pattern. We moved above the buy zone, and as you can see, this is where I bought my first position here, right at the top of the buy zone. And then I did buy a secondary position, and I wouldn't have bought the secondary position had I not bought the primary position, so that when they're added together, my average cost was, just a tad extended. Then I rode it all the way up, and then of course I had a stop loss, and I didn't put that in there. Probably should, at 116 right here, and then it's pulled back. Now it's bounced off the 10-day line. So could we start moving back into this? Well, the relative strength is getting better. I think it did get some support at the 10-day line, but here's the thing. I think that really, in order to get back to this is kind of like Lucy the football here. I kind of want to go in to it if it moves above that 10-day line. And so really, to get back into this, the way I would do it is I would try to see if I could do a buy stop limit order. And the way I would handle it here for AMD is is to set a buy stop limit order for the stop being basically right at the 10-day line. Let's see if I can get exact number here for you. Yeah, the stop being right at about 108.50. So 108.50, that would be the stop, and then the limit would be 108. 108.60. So basically, how I would play this one for an AMD was I would set a buy stop limit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you what it is. I'm going to delete my alerts. They've all gone off, as you can see. So here's what I would do is I would like to set an alert basically at the stop where I think that you should enter the trade if on AMD, if you're interested, is 108.50. So basically, let's see if we can let us, oh goodness. So that's 108.50 right there, and I'm still trying to get it to give me the right thing here. There we go. There's temporary line. Okay, so basically right here is where it's reversing. So as it reverses, what happens with this buy stop limit order is as it comes up to 108.50, that's when it kind of cocks the gun, and then what it does is it puts an order out there, a limit order out there at 108.60. So it's going to buy it as it moves higher. So that's kind of where I think you should buy it, because it's going to bounce. It's looked like it's getting some support and bouncing off the 10-day line, which is not surprising, because much of the trading of this stock is done with programmatic trading. So it's not surprising that it would be off the 10-day line. So that's where I would try to buy it. That's how I would try to buy it. I think you can buy it. I think you can buy it at this level. So that's kind of where I would be looking to do it. So with AMD, I don't think you want to buy it until it probably moves above about 108. Now it is currently towards the end of the day, it's looking pretty good. So let's go to the 30-minute chart and see if there's anything there. Yeah, a lot of selling coming in here. So we're still really kind of below that very key level, and I've marked that. That's right here at 108.50. So if I were to buy this, which I'm not right now, I would wait for it to come above 108.50, put in an order at 108.60, and you do that with a buy stop limit order, and then buy it as it moves higher. But right now, I don't think you can do it. Right now, unfortunately, we're getting a little bit of a rotation out of some of the techs into some of the more cyclical stocks. I mean, it's very, very interesting. I mean, what's going on. I kind of want to show you the action. One of the areas that has been seeing a lot of love as of late has been the financials, the money center banks. This is why I'm kind of shoring up my position in Goldman Sachs. Now, currently, Goldman is above that buy zone, unfortunately, at 113. This is where I kind of started buying here, and then as it moves up, I bought the full position here at 392.27, and then I bought an add-on position right as it came into the buy zone, but maybe a little bit too high right now. This is seeing a lot of interest. These money center banks, they're now 33 out of 197. So definitely a movement back into this area. Another area that's getting a lot of a lot of interest, of course, is the infrastructure area, and this is why I did buy Crane today. Crane plumbing supplies, and this is also in the buy zone as well. I just want to show you that in the buy zone, and it's coming off a very nice reversal. This, I didn't get in with what they call a load sheet. That would have been excellent, but I didn't quite get into that. This is the reversal line here. So as you can see, now it's starting to move above, and you can see this where these three indexes come together. That's showing a lot of strength going up. So basically at the buy point and up. So this is still actionable today. There's a lot of volume on this. I don't quite know. Well, I know kind of why I did. Just a lot of volume coming into this issue. It's through earnings. They had excellent earnings, 207. They were up basically very strongly, not only in sales. Let's see if we can go down there. Let's see if we can, show that. They were up 24% in sales, but they were up 205% in terms of their overall profits, and that's really what we're looking for. Look at that catch, so $5.96. This is what the street right now is looking for. They're kind of a little bit worried about, the bond yields and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of money sloshing around out there that's looking for superior yields. This is definitely one of them that has done really, really well. I mean, it says manufactures fluid handling, aerospace, and electronic equipment. Well, basically what they make is urinals. I'll be honest with you, but they do well with it. And their basis average, it's kind of a very, very old-fashioned, old-fashioned type of company. They're raising their earnings. They adjusted their earnings up from $5.95 to $6.95 per share. So they had really, really good earnings too. So this is kind of the place that the people are looking for. They're looking for companies that have very, very strong, that have very strong earnings. So it's an interesting thing. I'm losing my mind. Look at that. Look at that. I got something going on. With something in the software on my that's not working out. So I'm just gonna kind of, I may just gotta go over here and put Chartman back on, and Chartman doesn't get headaches like I do, I suppose. I'm sorry about that. All right. So let's go back and take a look at this next stock, and that is EXPI. And let's see if I could. Let's see if that will pull us back in. So EXPI. Oops. And this one is, of course, I think this is the parent company of Exit Realty. It's up 20% today. Really, really doing well. It seems like it's reversed. I don't quite know exactly what's going on here. Yeah, it's reversed above this trend line, so it's starting to make a nice move. And it seems like there is some there's a little bit of resistance right about the 53 level. It's a little bit up after hours. Well, it's basically even after hours. We just went to after hours. So there is a little bit of resistance here. Would I buy this? Well, it had some very, very good earnings, but it seems like it's just kind of, pooped out when it comes to going up. So it is doing well. I don't know if I would have, the time to get it probably when it reversed above the 200-day line. I really don't like when I see this pattern with the 50-day line underneath the 200-day line. I'm still not really psyched on this one. I really think that it needs to get more strength. I need to think that the 50-day line needs to move above the 200-day line really before I'm interested. So that's kind of my deal with this one. I wish I was more bullish on this one, but first of all, I don't like to buy below the 200-day line, and it's just moved above the 200 line, which is good. But I also want to see the alignment of these index lines. The 200 being at the bottom, then the next one is the 50-day line. I like to see that above the 200-day, and it's below it, so that's not good. Then you want to see that green line, that's the 21-day exponential. And then you want to see on top, you want to see that 10-day line. So it's the 21-day and the 10-day line are good. So in the short term, we've had good action on this. Basically, that's what it's saying. But over the period of 50 days, we're still in a downward trend. And that's unfortunate because they have this great earnings. So here's what I do on this one. I would watch this one. I wouldn't buy it right as we speak because it is not the best place, unfortunately. So that's how I would do it. Let's look at MRVI. MRVI. And Marvani Life Sciences. This is the one that had this incredible move yesterday. I can't quite figure out what's going on here with this one. We had that buy point basically at 45.79. It moved above that really nicely about, let's see, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So basically Wednesday of last week, it just made this great move on these excellent earnings. And it moved right up, but then it just kind of, topped out, and then it's pulled back basically, and it basically looks like it's settling on the 10-day line. So this is not necessarily a bad place. This is kind of where you want to see it bounce, is on the 10-day line. Would I buy it here? Well, I don't know. I just don't know. This one, it's just a little bit thin for me. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of, it's got an excellent checklist. I want to show you that. And the industry and sector is very good. But the problem is the rank is bad. It's 143 out of 197. So I'm just a little bit leery about this. Surprisingly, I was stocked out of Perkin-Elmer today, which is in the bio life sciences area, and they make the equipment for basically all the gene sequencing equipment. Now, I might have set my stop loss too tight because I was string trading it, but that is kind of a sign to me that we might be seeing, there it is. We might be seeing a pullback in some of the life sciences. It's run up so much, but this is sort of the canary in the coal mine here, and it looks like with that, I think we might be in a situation where we might have seen some, we might see some weakness in that area. I don't know why. I don't know why we're seeing weakness in that area. Let's see if I can get into this picture. For some reason, I get these split screens like this, and I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to send it to the folks that make this software because I can't understand why I'm getting that, but I'm going to just do that. And I think I'll go back onto Chartband. Here we go, my alter ego. All right, let's look at ASO and see kind of what's going on there. ASO, and that's Academy Sports. And this one just a few weeks ago was just doing great. It was all the way up there to 42.75. Then it kind of got a little bit of resistance there, and it retreated below the 50-day line. It looks like it's getting support though. That's a good thing to see. It looks like there's support. There's support right about here. See how it bounces there? There's support there. Now normally that support line would be probably at it might be all the way down at the 200-day line or the 50-day line, but this is a strong paired stock, so it's getting support, and it might be. This is a great way to buy a stock. As a stock comes down, then your CAM is doing that because The tech stocks are down today, Kelly. I think you're right. I think you're right. That was a comment that was from the Discord room. I think you're right. I don't know. The tech stocks are down, so I only have half a picture. What do you know? I don't know. It's one of those things. But anyways, this is a great way to buy stock. A stock will peak like this, and the Academy Sports has been great. Then it will pull back, and then basically as it reverses, that's where you want to kind of start looking to buy it. Now, this is a little bit too early to buy this. So I mean, if you do a trend line, you could say, well, maybe it's come up a little bit, but I still think that's a little bit weak place to buy it. Where I think that a better place to buy it is right at the 50-day line. That's where I think you could probably buy this. I like Academy Sports a lot, and that 50-day line is right at 36. No, 30. No, is that right? Did I get that right? Yeah, is at 38.25. Excuse me. I misread that. So it needs to come up a little bit before we can buy it, but you definitely want to put this one on your watch list. Excellent company. We had some very nice volume there. Relative strength is good. And we are through earnings, I believe. Let's take a look. I believe we are through earnings. Yeah, 10-2. So we've got till October 2nd. Before you have earnings again. They had and Academy Sports says this is a really good company. By the way, if you're not in Texas, you probably don't know a lot about them. Here in Texas, they're just huge. And by the way, they sell guns. So if you're into that, that's kind of a cool thing as well. A little bit kind of like Dick's Sporting Goods, but they have the other component that some states don't like. But Academy Sports, very, very good company. A lot of sporting goods. People are going crazy with all this lockdown. So they're going to Academy Sports and buying stuff that they can, have fun around town. So here's the thing I think about it. It's got tremendous cash flow. Again, the story that we're seeing is this cash flow story. There's just a lot of money that was in the tech and growth stocks, and they're kind of running for cover a little bit. So this is not necessarily a bad place to go. You want to probably, at this point in the market cycle, you probably want to go to stocks that have at least positive cash flow, and the return on equity for Academy Sports is 39%, which is excellent. Retail, financials, and cyclicals right now is sort of the theme. I mean, that's sort of where the market is going. So I like this one. It's reversing. I want to wait until it comes about to 38.25 before I get in. Probably only go in with a half position, but this is a quality stock. So I think you're really right on track, Jeet. With looking at this one. I think it's a very good stock, and we probably do very, very well. So, but I don't think you want to buy it right now because it's still not moved. It's still not reversed. I want to see it reverse above that 50-day line before getting back into it. But I do think there's something. How low do you think space will drop? Okay, well, let's take a look. Let's kind of guess at that. Of course, it's all a guess, but the charts help you guess better. That's how I feel about them anyways. So let's look at first. Let's go to the weekly chart is very noisy, so we can't really say. But basically, if we're looking at the weekly chart, we're looking at it's fallen below the 200-day moving average. So it's taken out that. So that's not a good thing. There is right here at 27.57. There is a buy point. So this is an area for resistance. So I think it might have this would be a logical area for it to get support, would be at this 27.57, and it's 27.37. Now the question is, if it falls below that, then I think we're not going to get support. Then we would go back down lower. So the next lowest buy point is about 12. So here's the thing. If it can hold about 27, if you can hold this 27.25 or so area, then I think it's probably going to stay there. If it doesn't, then it's probably going to fall down probably to about $12. So I do think that we may get a bounce here, but don't don't take it to the bank. Don't take it to the bank. There is potentially some support. There's technically some support right at the 27.38 level. It's currently 27.37. So you can see that's the last buy point was 27, about 27.37, and we're right at there. So If it gets support here, and it does look like we're starting to see a little bit of support after hours, then I think it could probably maybe stabilize and come up to the 50-day line. But I tell you, if I was down more than 7% on this one, I would be running for the doors because, you know, right now the trend is downwards. And I want to kind of show you the daily chart. Yeah, there it is. And as you can see, now this is kind of my, you know, my notes, so you can see the notes better here. But we definitely, here's the problem. We lost support at that key 200-day line. We fell below the 200-day line. Now, when they fall below the 200-day line, and by the way, it's on increasing volume, which is not a good thing either. When it falls below the 200-day line, we can't really do anything until it finds support and starts moving higher. Really, you should never consider buying, entering a position if it's below the 200-day line. It's just too dangerous. That's this black line here. So right now, if you're down more than 7% on this, I would just really recommend, you know, pulling that Band-Aid off. You know, just rip it off, because this one could easily go down to 12. From my, you know, from looking at this, we could easily go down to $12. Now, hopefully, it's going to get some support here, but I think you got to be careful. I would not be entering a position in Virgin Galactic here. I just wouldn't. Let's look at Zillow for Samuel. Let's look at Zillow. You know, and Zillow is becoming really much more of a house flipping company. But, you know, I don't know. The market may or may not like that, because I'm just seeing it go down. I mean, look at this. They had tremendous earnings, 259%. That was their, you know, that was their earnings. The earnings were just, you know, off the chart good. Okay, 359%. Sales were up 70%, but look at that, profits were up, and this is mainly because of the house flipping activities. But look at this chart. This is not a good chart. This is not a chart you would buy. This is not a good chart, because it's going from Seattle to Miami. We don't like that route. We want Los Angeles to Boston or something like that. Right now, we're flying in the wrong direction, and I just don't think you want to. I would stay away from Zillow, at least until we can have a better chart pattern. This is not a optimal chart pattern by any stretch of the imagination. Even though the internet content area at 22 out of 197, it's doing much better. This still, I just don't think you want to be there. So let's look at Marathon Digital. That's MARI, I think it is. MARI. I think this is the MARA. So that MARA. Yeah, Marathon Digital. This one's showing a lot of strength. It's up after hours. I don't know why this is up. Look at the daily chart here. I think it's like a patent troll. No, this is cryptocurrency. Digital asset technology company mines cryptocurrencies. Don't really know exactly what's going on here, but you know, it seems to have reversed. I don't know if you could really count this as a reversal, but if you were to draw a reversal line, you go like that, and you probably could count that as a reversal. Seems like there's some resistance right here at about 39, but it has been pulling back. So, you know, I just I don't get a warm and fuzzy feeling with this one. Unfortunately, I just don't. You know, it's in a good area, finance management area, 16 out of 197, so that's really good. But I don't know. I just, for some reason, I just don't know enough about it. I'm probably gonna pass. I'd probably pass on this one. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just you know, I can't really get behind it. NEO. Well, you know, all the Chinese companies have been taking a hit from the central CCCP government. I think that's right. Chinese Central Communist Party. I think that's CCCP, something like that. You know, they're basically you know, they're raiding a lot of these companies. Now, even if the earnings are good, and the earnings are due basically tonight, I guess. I just, you know, unless this just has blowout earnings, and it might. I'm really cautious right now with China stocks. There's so much political risk. I don't know if I want to be in them right now. I'll be honest. I don't know if I want to be in many of the Chinese stocks because of this political risk. Now, currently, NEO is trading right at the 200-day moving average. Well, I don't really like to buy at this level. I don't like to buy at the 200-day line. I don't like to buy below it. I want to make sure that it's moved above this, because if it's at the 200-day line or below it, that means that there's disinvestment going on. So if you take, the year is 360 days, the 200-day moving line is about a little bit more than a half a year. So that means that money is flowing out of this issue currently. Don't want to be where I always want to be where the tide is rising, because as they say, the tide, the tide rises all boats. So I want to be where the money's flowing to. By the way, let's take a look. Let's kind of look to see where the money's flowing to. And basically the way we do that is we go over here to this handy dandy chart, and let's go down here to all of the groups, and we're going to just pull that up. See if I can get down there. All right, okay. So I think I'm going to have to do this a little bit. So Control Option. There we go. There we go. So now I think we can see it. Yeah, there we go. So this is the industry groups. I think I went too far on that. We go up to about 100%. Okay. So on the industry groups here, and this is all of the 197 industry groups ranked. I'm going to put them in rank order. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this kind of on the screen. There we go. Maybe even a little bit more. This is 250%. This is a lot. So let's see if I can come over here. So, well, let's pull it back. There. Okay, so we're at about 150% magnification. That's a lot of magnification. So right now, the number one group, believe it or not, is energy and coal. There's 13 stocks in there. Not really that interested in that. This is still where the money is going. The steel producers seem to be getting a lot of love for some reason. Retail wholesale auto parts. That's an area that I very much like. There's 8 companies in there. Let's see if we can find anything there. Retail products doing very, very well, and shoes and accessories. I definitely, have Nike and Skechers in there, so I'm looking pretty good in there. But let's look in the consumer finance loan area. This is an area that I like a lot for a lot of reasons, and I want to look to see if there's any leaders that we can take a look at here. Right now, SLM, Santander Consumer. So which ones? Yeah, Capital One Financial. So let's take a look at Capital One to see kind of what is going on there. See if that's in a buyable zone. Yeah, this is definitely a buyable. This is one I think that, if you're looking to put your money to work, you want to be in an area where the money is moving to. And right now, consumer finance is a very good area in the market. And currently, Capital One Financial, COF, COF is in a buy zone. And this one is a particularly good one. You can see there's been a lot of buying coming in here. The earnings were off the charts, up 579%. This is what, people are going to have to pay back all of their loans. So this is looking very strong. This has been a very strong buying in this area. So this is something, if you're looking at NEO, why not consider an area that you have probably a better chance of winning in? And that's really kind of what I'm always looking for. I'm looking for the ones that you have the best chance of winning. Currently, Capital One Financial, this is an area that you might want to move into. Its sales are not up as much as they should be last quarter, but the earnings per share is a little bit low, but everything else is really, really good. A lot of companies are accumulating this one. Yeah, the relative strength is moving up 94. That's excellent. So the only thing that really is lacking here are sales, but the profits are looking very, very good. So let's kind of pull up that profit screen for Capital One Financial. Yeah, here's the thing with it's very interesting with Capital One. Their sales are only up 5%, so they're really not gaining all that many new customers or new loans. But the loans that they have are just going through the roof because, it's like, I think, this is the credit card kings. It's like 20% interest on this. So the profits are just look at this. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, The profits have just been incredible. The profits have come up 53%, 111%, 333%, and 579%. So if you want to buy a stock that's probably going to go higher, and it's in a base mode, probably going to go higher, it's probably going to be Capital One Financial. This is one that I think that, you might want to kind of take a look at. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get a little list of things that I'm going to look at a little bit after the show. But COF might be a place that you could go instead of NIO. It's not that I'm against NIO. I just think that the automobile group, and especially the Chinese companies, are just having a lot of trouble. I don't think you really want to be in there. Any word on SPCE Vertical Electric? I don't really have any word on it, but I wouldn't buy it right now. It's pulling lower, and that's not a good place to be. Is Nvidia buying? You know what? And this is painful for me to say because I like Nvidia so much, as you well know. I'm sort of an Nvidia bull. The situation with Nvidia is that we're coming up on earnings. I was stopped out of Nvidia, and so right now so I'm waiting for earnings really to see kind of what's happening. What's happening on Nvidia. It's currently not a buy right now. Right now, it's not a good entry point into it. Really what we need to see is we need to see strength, and we need to see it move above 208, 208.75. That's the buy point. Now, why does the stock do this? Well, the way stocks work is you can see there. What happens is the stock will move up quickly, and it moved up to 208. Then it will retreat typically, and this is a basing pattern. And then as the weak hands are rooted out, then it starts in this kind of it runs in this kind of consolidation pattern. Currently, the consolidation basically goes, the stock is consolidating from about 178 on up to about 208. So, basically $30. It's sort of oscillating in this area. Now, when it breaks through 208.75, that's where you want to buy it, because then it's going higher. So here's what I would do. Earnings are in 7 days. I would wait on this one. Don't buy it right now. See how it comes through earnings. See if it can reverse its trend. Currently, it's in a little bit of a downtrend. I do think, though, it's very likely to bounce at the 50-day line, which is about 190. So I do think it's going to probably pull down a little bit more. It's going to bounce at 190. I was stopped out of my positions. That's why I put stop losses in. I'm waiting for a chance to get back in. But right now, it's in what they call a basing pattern. It's just called a flat base. And I think you got to stay out of it just for a tad until it moves above that 208 level. So once it's above the 208, then I think we can, we're going to see some very nice action on it once again, because this is a superior company. But right now, with everything going on in the market, there is a rotation going on once again. I tell you, there's been so many rotations this year. It's not funny, but the rotations is out of many of the tech issues into the financials, into the retails, and into some of the more cyclical stocks. I am typically looking at some of the big construction plays like Trex and Caterpillar, because they're going to get some love when it comes to this infrastructure bill. But right now, because there's this fear of interest rates moving up and bond yields and the debt ceiling, we're starting to see a rotation out of many of the tech issues, which depend on very low rates, and we're seeing just a reallocation. Money has to go somewhere. It's looking for yield. The yield is coming from many of these Dow industrial stocks like Caterpillar, like Goldman Sachs, companies like that. So that's kind of what's going on. That's kind of what's going on. Is MU a buy long term? Well, you see, I don't really look at it long term or short term. I just look at it, is it a good time or is it not a good time to get into the stock? Right now, unfortunately, I would have to say no. I would not be in this. If you can see, unfortunately, Micron dropped below that very key 200-day line. That's this black line on the chart. It dropped below that. It did not. It tried to break out. It broke out over that reversal line just barely. It caught too much resistance. Boom, it falls. And look at this. We're getting lots and lots of selling activity here. This is the volume. You want to always take a look at that. The break was right here. It was basically yesterday, and that's when it fell through this line. So we had a major capitulation, looks like, here on Micron. Not a good buy. I would not be entering a position on Micron. If you are down more than 7%, consider selling, because and then buying on the upside, because you just don't want to catch that falling knife. It's not a good time to buy a stock when it's retreating. Currently, Micron is retreating. I'm sorry to say that because I really like the company. Let's look at Hess, and this is interesting. This is Amanda Hess. Just kind of FYI, the Hess company many years ago. Is that the symbol for Hess? HESS. Let me just check here. I'm going to have to check to see if I've got the right symbols. I'm going to put. So I'm looking up the Hess symbol. It is HES, not HESS. My mistake. Okay. HES. There we go. All right. So this is Amanda Hess. I think it used to be called that. This is really this is kind of what they call a mini major. So it's a major oil company, but it is not one of the seven sisters, of course, but it's a very big one. Basically, the New York Mercantile Exchange used to quote their prices in the New York Harbor for gasoline. So that was the spot price of gasoline for many years. Kind of interesting fact. I don't know if it's done that way anymore, but back in the days, if you traded gasoline futures and gasoline contracts, the delivery point, the FOB, the freight on board place, was New York Harbor. I think it was Elizabeth, New Jersey, something like that. Very interesting. But anyways, I digress too much. Hess is in a downward trend. It is in an increasing, in a good area, but this is the international E&P area. The better one of the two, the better two of the group, is the U.S. E&P area. That's a little bit better than the U.S. is, but a little bit better than the international, at least for right now. But right now, they had some very good earnings. It was up 123%. Just looking at it here, looking very good. But we had very nice profits. Sales are up 90%. Profits are up 123%. Lots of cash flow here. So I like it from those standpoints for right now. But I don't like this trend. Right now we are in a downward trend. So I want to see it bounce. It's probably going to bounce at the 200-day line. It's probably going to bounce the 200-day line. If it bounces higher, I will buy it on an uptrend, but I will not buy it on a downtrend. So that's really the issue that I have with it, is the downtrend. So I wouldn't probably buy this on the downtrend. So my view on this, I probably will not be a buyer for Hess. I probably would not be a buyer for Hess. All right. European on ASTR. Let's look at that. ASTR. Yeah, and that is Astra Space in Alameda, California. I used to live in Alameda, by the way. If you're ever in Alameda, there's a place called Courageous Court. I used to live at 31 Courageous Court. So I know Alameda very, very well. I think this is over Bay Farm Island here. But it's an aerospace company. Don't know a whole lot about it. I'll be honest with you. It looks like sort of a new issue. Its earnings are in basically a day. So the question is, what is the deal with this? Well, this is a downward trending chart. I probably would not be a buyer for this, but let's look at the daily chart. Yeah, unfortunately, we're below that critical 200-day line. Earnings are in a day. No way. I just think I don't think this is going to work, unfortunately. It may be a good company in the future, but it's not the chart that I want to see. It's just really not the chart that I want to see. There is some fund sponsorship, about 1%, not a lot. We have a negative cash flow, but yeah. So here's the thing. I just would not be in this one, at least not yet. I think it might be good to watch list it, but probably not the way to go, unfortunately. Okay. Hello. Is it OIC and C, oil and banking. Okay, let's look at OIC. Let's look at that. OIC. Did I get that right? All right, let's see if that comes up. Well, it's not working there. Citibank. All right. Yep, Citigroup. Yeah. Okay. Well, basically, right now, you're right. Banking seems to be doing good. So banking seems to be doing good, but not all the normal suspects. So let's see if we can look at the leaders. Because that's definitely something that I think is worthwhile to look at. Because as you know, I've been moving into a position. Let's go to 100%. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to. There we go. I'm going to go back to the banking sector, and let's see. Retail banking. Let's see. I'm going to look back at the money center banks, because that's kind of where a lot of this action seems to be centered around, and it's basically 33 is the group. So let me go to 33 group. There we go. These are the money center banks. Let's take a look to kind of see, in general, if we can find anything good in there. So basically, this is the entire group here, and it is moving up. It's got a relative strength that's moving up 83. So this is looking quite good. The top stocks are currently Wells Fargo, this company that I don't know much of, and Morgan Stanley. But Goldman Sachs is the number one in terms of the relative strength. Is the highest relative strength. But Wells Fargo is looking good. Let's look at this other one. This looks like a BB. Yeah, this is a bank that I don't know. It's a Spanish bank, and this is a way that you possibly could diversify outside of the U.S. And I'm not in the stock currently, but the numbers for it are looking pretty darn good. Let's see, yeah, it's right up above a buy zone right now. It's a cheap. I mean, considering, and the reason is because this is in pesos. That's why there's such a difference in price. But currently, it's above the buy zone at $6.93. So this might be something. They had nice earnings. So is it possible? Well, it's a pretty good checklist. So if you wanted to diversify outside of the United States, this one might be a good one. Oh, I'm sorry. I know this company, BBVA. They're actually here in Texas too. So this is a very good bank. I know this bank personally. A very good bank. This one might be a good way to go. It's based in Spain, but it's basically all over Latin America. Plus, it's in Texas, which used to be part of Latin America. It kind of has those roots, so it's a good thing. This one might be an area that you could possibly watch this. I do like this area. Also in the oil area, let's just see how some of the oil sectors are showing strength. Let's see. I'm just trying to think. I think that they've moved down a little bit. Yeah, they've moved down here to 11th out of 197, but it's still really strong. This is actually, I think the steel sector is better than this one right now, which I didn't think I'd ever say, but it's definitely the case. Right now, Chesapeake Energy. Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't seen Chesapeake in a long time. This one might be a very interesting play if you're interested in the oil and gas area, and it's CHK. It's called, it's Chesapeake. I think they're based in Oklahoma City, if I'm not mistaken. Oklahoma City. This is an interesting company, and it's been recapitalized. And it's a little bit spiky, but the relative strength is moving up. Things are starting to look very good for this company. This is one I would consider in the oil patch because it's a major producer of natural gas, which is used in electric generation, but also oil and gas. So this is one you could buy right now. It's right below the buy zone. There is a buy zone on this one. So this one is a stage one consolidation. So this might be an interesting play if you're looking for an oil and gas stock, and that's Chesapeake, CHK. is the symbol on that one. And I may be watching this one too. Thoughts on Palantir? PLTR. Let's look at Palantir. PLTR. And let's zoom in a little bit on that. There. All right. So this is the chart of Palantir. You know, it's funny. I have not been able to get this one to work. You know, I have not been able to get this one to work really well for me in a while. But Palantir is still in a downward trend. I mean, it does look like it's peaking a little bit above that trend line, but it didn't close below it. It closed below it. So it still is in a downward trend. Here's the thing about Palantir. I think you just got to wait. I think you just got to wait on it. Earnings are in one day. Maybe the earnings will pick it up, pull it up. But currently, Palantir is in a downward trend. If you're more than 7% down on this one, you might want to consider closing. Just because I think that's a little bit too. It's a little tough on that one. All right. Well, we're almost at the end of the hour, and I thank you, everybody. Let's see if we have any questions on TikTok that we can answer really quickly here. Doggy Coin. What about PCOR? I don't know that stock. Let's take a look at that. PCOR. I know a lot of these stocks. PCOR. Okay. Process Technologies. No, I don't think this one is. I don't think you want to be with Process Technology. I don't think this one is really where you want to be. I'm sorry to say, no. That one, I think you could probably discount it. So Process Technology. All right, probably last two symbols. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Let's look at EQT. Let's look at EQT. I don't know EQT. All right. EQT. Oh, okay. So this is an oil. It's oil and gas. Maybe I'm liking it more. I'm liking it more, but it's in the oil and gas integrated. The thing about the oil business is interesting. There's really basically several areas of the business. The E&P area, that's actually where they drill for it. That's like, then there's the U.S. and the international ones. Then there is the integrated oil companies. Those are the ones that actually do it all. They actually drill for it, they refine it, and then they sell it. So those are different. And those are typically like the majors like ExxonMobil, Valero, those kind of companies. And then there are the ones that are just transported. Like there's a company called Pennzoil, which is owned possibly by Energy Transfer Partners, which I actually worked for them for a while. That just, it doesn't even do anything. It just basically, transports it to retail outlets and is basically like a credit facility. It's kind of interesting. So there's a lot of different businesses in the oil business. It's not just one big old monolithic business. Now that said, the oil and gas integrated is not the best place to be right now. And right now, this is in a downward trend. I would avoid this stock. I'm sorry to say that. I know you don't want to hear that, but I would avoid it. I would absolutely avoid EQT for now. Anyways. Okay. Myra, okay. Oh, Myra mines and keeps a huge percent of Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Thoughts on holding Tesla? Buying average is, oh, okay. This is a very good question, Ricky. Here's the thing. Here's what I do with Tesla right now. I just think that right now it is a good time to, if your averages are 600, I think you want to kind of start to lighten up here a little bit. That would be my advice here. I think you want to lighten up because, you have a lot of dead capital there. I just think that it's in this consolidate. It's sort of at this wedging. This is what they call wedging here. It's kind of wedging in here. So right now, I mean, it can go higher earlier, later, but right now you have some dead capital. You have some very nice gain there. If your average price is $600, you're sitting with $100 a share gain. I think you might start wanting to take at least half of it off the table, maybe even more. That's what I would do, just because, right now I think you can get a bit better bump on your capital. Well, don't buy the dip. Okay, that's true. The dip could be a falling knife. So true, by the way. So true, so true. This is why you always want to buy as the stock is moving higher if you possibly can, because buying on the dip, it looks really good, it looks really attractive, but it may be going the wrong direction, and you don't want to do that. So thanks everybody for taking a look today at Dallas Trading Floor. And by the way, if you want to get on that action trade alerts and get on the action trade alerts, it's super duper easy. Of course, just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and just need the first and last name and a email address, and we'll get it right at you. I'm going to probably be putting together this trade that I did, the spread trade that I did today on Caterpillar. I think it's a nice little trade. Not going to change the world, but it could put about $500 in your pocket right away. That's what I put in my pocket this morning with this trade, and it has a pretty high likelihood of closing at a nice little profit. So that's going to be available to everybody that's on the action trade alerts list today, probably by about 5:30. And then we're going to be probably sending it out overnight on that as well. So again, thank you very much, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at about 2:30, maybe 2:40, depending on when things are good to go. And I hope to see you then. And hope to see you back tomorrow. And thanks again. Tell your friends about Dallas Trading Floor. And by the way, we do have the new Dallas Trading Floor mugs, which are great for drinking that coffee when the markets open up in the morning. And it's the official Dallas Trading Floor mug. It's $6.95 plus shipping, and people seem to really like them, so that's available too. And by the way, you can find out about those mugs. Just go to www.dallastradingfloor and just look for the link. Just click on that, and you'll see the order place where you can order for those mugs. So until tomorrow at 2:40 or 2:30, depending on when I get all this equipment working, I'll see you later. Happy trading, and stay safe, everyone. Stay cool, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.